morning to all of you out there this morning. It is a beautiful Friday. It is October the 20th, guys. Can you believe it that we're already into this part of the quarter, right? And it's always a special time for me because it's actually 7 days before my birthday. 7 whole days before my birthday. So next Friday is my birthday, and I can't think of a better way to celebrate it is in any other way other than being able to spend some quality time with doing the things that I enjoy doing. How about you? And one of those things is preparation for different events, right? And one of those events that's coming up is, of course, the masterclass with Victoria Elevates, and we're going to be talking about elevating us to that place where we can truly be authentic and relieving and unleashing that person on the inside for us to be authentic. And so in the comment section, you will see the registration information where you can still go out there and register for the event. Later today, we're going to up it to the VIP section where you can actually get some additional information and services after the masterclass. The VIP is for those people who want to take advantage of having my brain went blank. This is truly live, where you actually will have your one-on-one coaching session with me after the event is over. And you'll also receive some other little gifts. So you might want to go ahead and get registered now for the conference. And just in case you don't know where to look or how to find that conference, or you might say, well, Miss Victoria, what does it actually look like? I go by the site. So here's the information. I actually love that music. Look, guys, I love to dance, or what I call dancing. Now, if you ask my kids, they'll probably tell you, please don't let my mama dance. But that's okay, because you know how kids are. They just never know. They never respect their parents and their greatness, right? So dancing is one of mine. But anywho, so this morning, good morning to all of you that are out there in social media land. And those of you that will watch later this video, this podcast. And so we're coming back, as I told you, Elevation Moments was coming back, and we're here. We will tell you that starting next week, we will go back to our old time that we used to do Elevation Moments, and that was earlier in the morning, because this is a thing. Let's be real. We all have days of things that we have to accomplish and moving forward. And that's one of the things that we want to encourage all of our entrepreneurs out there is to keep on moving, no matter what it looks like. Just keep on moving forward with the intentions that you have for your day. See, this is oftentimes we are sometimes not in a place where we can be ready. But when I tell you after we have this conversation today about freshly cutting some things, maybe you'll understand. To those of you that are watching for the first time, or perhaps you have forgotten who I am and you haven't seen us on the screen in a while. My name is Victoria Hall, and I am the CEO, founder, and facilitator of Victoria Elevates. Victoria Elevates stands for the motto that we started quite some time ago. Elevated, not tolerated, means to rise above anything and everything that has held us down and has caused us to feel inadequate. But with you and I together, we rise above all of those things, because it's time for you and I to rise above it. It's time. It's time for you and I to be empowered, embraced, and educated, to be elevated and not tolerated. So this morning, to those that you are watching, and please go out there, share, and like this video. Join our subscription on our webpage. which is victoriamholland.com. And also join us, subscribe if you would, to our YouTube channel. Good morning, Miss Sheena. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I hope you are having an amazing and you are ready for that Fresh Cut Friday with us on today. Thank you so much. Please care, share, and like the video with other people so they can join us. Join us in this breathtaking moment. See, every moment that we have is a moment that we have to, we have to grasp and say, thank you, God, for allowing us to have it. Somebody didn't wake up this morning to have a fresh breath or a fresh cut. So we want to be able to help as many people that we possibly can through this journey to understand how important it is for us to get on this journey. So this morning we're going to talk about it's Fresh Cut Friday, and I know I've had some people inbox me and say, "Well, what is that going to be? Who are you cutting off in your life?" Well, can I be honest with you? We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about repositioning some things in our day that's going to help us understand that. And in the next few minutes, the next 24 minutes, 25 minutes, we're going to do that, right? Because it's important that we understand that sometimes it's about cutting things off and how we cut it off. See, the thing is, you have to ask yourself, what is your intentions? What is your true intentions of why you're doing something? See, because when you have no true intentions, you'll do something for the wrong reason. See, when you start planning to be intentional, then you'll be able to understand that the process can be completed and you can do it with little ease, if you will. It does take practice. My good friend Coach K says it all the time. Practice, not force. So we're going to practice how to have good intentions. Good intention starts with the mindset. Good intention starts with us thinking clearly about what we're doing, right? If you have situations and circumstances in your life that you need to resolve, then this is a good time to set some goals to do so. I'm a firm believer in order to start doing some things, we have to go to the root. We talked about that. We talk about that constantly throughout all of our programs. That is, we have to be intentionally looking at what has caused us to get to the place that we are right now. What caused us to think that we have to cut some things off, right? And you're saying, well, Miss Victoria, why did you say freshly cut? Because you have to have the intention that this thing is going to resolve and it's going to cause you to have a fresh new beginning. Sometimes cutting people, places, and things out of our life means that we are ready to have a fresh start, truly a fresh start. And some of you may be saying, well, how many times can you have a fresh start? As often as it takes until you get what you need to get. As often as it takes for you to get to the place that you understand who you are and where you are and where you and whose you are. So the thing is, when we begin to start thinking about freshly cutting people, places, and things out of our life, it may not be that they are good, that it is good or bad. It could be that it is not good or bad for us at this time. So there is a growth spirit in all of us that we have to be more attentive to. And that causes us to be intentional. If we're pushing ourselves to move to a different level, then that means that we have to be intentional in doing so. What are your true intentions? You have to ask yourself that question. Sometimes we cliche say things, you be intentional. Well, what that truly means to me is this: have something in your mind that you're specifically trying to accomplish, right? Specifically trying to accomplish. So when you're looking at certain things in our life, we ask ourselves, what was your intentions? My intentions was to grow and not die. Okay, let me go biblical on you. I want to live and not die, right? So if that's the case, I have to set some intentional goals in order to do that. See, oftentimes we get into the formalities and the titles and all of these issues about certain things, when in actuality, it takes us to remove the titles. I know I'm going to have some people out there mad at me, Miss Shada, but we got to move the titles out the way, because at the end of the day, we're all human, right? Now, what you have to do is understand that the Bible gives us the tools of setting goals, right? To be intentional. right? So I'm giving you that other side of that picture because it's important that you understand that everything cannot be done at one location. Sometimes you have to expand your horizons, expand your knowledge, expand what you need to do. At the end of the day, what is your true intentions? You have to understand that through this process that it causes us to see things on a different level. It causes us to shift our atmosphere to another place. Being intentional assists us with the cutting process, right? So as we begin to walk into this next level of understanding, this next level of clarification, are you being intentional enough that you are ready to move into your next? I got to ask you the question, are you ready to cut? One of the things that Elevated Not Tolerated does through our academy and through everything that we believe in, we always have what we call our Elevated Not Tolerated package, right? And inside of that package is a sharp pair of scissors that you can take with you wherever you go. Now, keep in mind, I'm not giving you a weapon. I'm giving you the tools to help you release yourself from some things that may just be holding you down, right? At the end of the day, this is the first thing that we want to talk about. We want to talk about the process of using those tools. We want to talk about how we can move to our next level and eliminate some things out of our life, right? Good morning, Tamika. Thank you so much for joining. Please, care, share, and like this video so that other people can also join you and myself and Miss Sheena on this conversation. It was a great pleasure to have you with me today. When we start talking about moving to our next, and then we start talking about the importance of disconnecting from things. One of the techniques that I do talk is about the scissors, which is why when you purchase that toolkit, the scissors is one of the tools that's in there. Keep in mind, you got to make sure that you're using it appropriately and for the right reasons. Because a lot of times we get a lot of stuff and we don't use it, right? One of the things that I hope that you will understand through this process, that it takes you releasing some things out of your life, right? So when we start talking about going to our next level, one of the things that we have to understand is the process of elimination. In order to develop a good place, a good specific area where we can determine what the intentions are, one of those things is that we have to actually move forward with setting goals. We have to go there, y'all. We have to be able to push to that next level in order for us to understand how important setting goals can truly be. We're going to take a few minute break and then we're going to come right back and we're going to start talking about those goals. Okay, y'all. So I'm sitting here dancing again. All right. So check this out. Let's start talking about what we need to do in order to start cutting some things out of our life, right? The first thing is that we need to be having a plan. A plan of action is important. What we what we release and what we remove is important to our next opportunity of growth, right? And so, with that being said, we have to be able to. Hey, good morning, Mike. Thanks for joining. We enjoyed being with you on last night at that virtual event that I will tell you if you missed it, you missed it. But Mike's going to bring us back to another place. Thanks, Mike. If you would, please care, share, and like this video with other people so they can join us here at Elevation Moments. So when I tell you that it's important that we start developing this process, right? So as a certified master life coach, one of the things that we always like to stress is setting goals, right? And sometimes those goals are hard in the beginning because change can sometimes be difficult when we don't want to process it, right? So the first thing is to sit down and say, let's make some goals, right? Let's actually look at what it takes to freshly cut some things that are not helping us grow. To my students out there, to all of those that work with me on a regular basis, you know, one of my favorite things is if it's not helping you grow, then it's time to let it go. Let me repeat that for the people in the back, right? If it's not helping you grow, then it is physically time to let it go, right? And how do we let it go? Sometimes you do not have your hands on it. Sometimes you can't put your hands around someone's neck and strangle them. But what you can do is plan to how to physically, emotionally let it go, right? Because the fact of the matter is the things that we really need to let go lies in us, right? That process begins with inside of us, right? Because the Bible also talks about so that a man thinketh, right? So what you think is what's going to help you maneuver to a different level. The question is, are you really ready, right? So when we start this process, the first thing we want to ask ourselves is, we're going to go to the root and we're going to say, what are the things that we want to remove? You have to have something in your mind that is causing you that's not helping you grow, right? And if you say to yourself, well, one of those things, hi, Taisha, thank you for joining us this morning, my friend. It's always a pleasure to have that self-worth queen in the house. When I tell you that it's important that we begin to ask ourselves the initial question, what is it that I need to remove and why? Right? Let's ask ourselves this question. Why do we continue to hold ourselves back? Well, as you can see, the new book is going to be out. If you haven't pre-ordered it, you need to go ahead and get it now. Because one of the things that holds us back is people pleasing. One of the things that we tend to do is people please beyond measure, and it holds us back from doing the things that we need to do. Can I be honest with you? We all experience it. Nobody's no different from anybody else. We all go through the process of people pleasing. There's some things, and I'll tell you, there's some things that's good about it, and there's some things that are extremely horrible about it. And that's one of the things that we talk about in the book. What is it that keeps us people pleasing? Because we don't have a confidence in ourselves. Well, the thing is, we have to remove that. So the first intentional goal setting that you should put on your paper is stop people pleasing. Because this is a thing. If you're constantly people pleasing, then that means that you're taking yourself out the equation to have peace. Let's take ourselves out of that equation. It's time for us to have the peace that God has intended for us. People pleasing, like I said, can be good or bad. There's a whole class, there's a whole course coming up for it. You need to go ahead and get ready for it, right? Because I'm going to bring it to you all the way live. This is the thing. Have you understood it? Right? Have you understood it? Do you know how it can be infectious, if you will, to continue to people please? If you have a gift, if you have a talent, then that means that there is something that is intended for you, right? If it is intended for you, correct, Taisha, it depletes who we are. It takes away our true self-worth. This is the reason why we need to understand that we have to cut that demon. Yeah, I call it a demon. Cut it at the root. Go to the root. In my sessions, in my classes, that's the first thing that we have to talk about. The root. Why are you allowing yourself to continue to people please? What is the value that it gives you? Well, can I be honest with you? It's a lot of us a lot of us that think it's necessary because we want to keep peace. Can I help you understand that it does totally the opposite? People pleasing does not keep us in peace. It keeps us in bondage, right? Which is why it's time now for us to move to that next level. Intentionally put on your list of things to cut at the top of your list for today. I want you to hashtag this for me throughout, to those of that are watching by Facebook. Hashtag this for me. It's time to cut, and put some scissors attached to it. Just hashtag that, right? And when you hashtag that, I want that to be a reminder to you that you're intentionally releasing yourself from things that are no longer giving you true value, right? It's no longer housing the thing that's going to help you. Let's cut it at the root. Let's cut people pleasing at the root. If John is who you really are trying to impress, if Sally is who you're trying to impress, if the children are who you're trying to impress, look at your situation and ask yourself these questions. Why is it necessary? Why is it necessary for me to please John, Sally, Sue? And in the book, we talk about Cuckoo, Pooh, and Ray Ray. Look, why is it necessary for you to please them? Is it going to help? Is it going to be beneficial? See, when you start looking at things intentionally, when you look at these things intentionally, this is what's going to happen. People pleasing then becomes only a tool to get to another level, right? And sometimes that level does not meet the process of their destination. You got to go ahead and move out of the situation. You got to take a deep look at what's really causing you to people please these individuals. See, this is the thing. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, yes, Taisha, we introduce our readers in the when you purchase a book, we introduce a couple of characters in our book, Pookie, Choo Choo, and Ray Ray. If you purchase a book, you'll find out that these characters are extremely important for getting the point across about people pleasing. Make sure you go out there and purchase pre-order your book today, right? Pre-orders stop on October the 26th. So when I tell you that at the end of the day, cutting is the most beneficial for you being intentional to move into your next. Being intentional to getting your next. Cutting the people pleasing piece out of your life begins to release us from that place of being sabotaging who we're trying, suffocating. Let me put it that way, suffocating us from moving to our next. I don't know about you. I don't even know who I'm talking to other than the guys that are in the room with me that's going to be sharing this with other folks. This is the thing. When you intentionally cut off dead weight, then it releases you. It opens up the area where you can increase your wisdom and your knowledge, and it also increases the ability for you to have space for positive things. Cutting away negativity leaves the door open for positive things to help us move to the next. Oh, one of the things I can tell you is that it is imperative in this fourth quarter, if you will, in your journey to move to your next level to remove things that is taking up unnecessary space in your growth. I don't know about you. It's time for us to look at ourselves in a different format. You may not have $1 million in your bank account. Not yet, anyway. Let's just say this. Not yet. It's coming, y'all. It's on the way. I speak prosperity and overflow, to the dollars and the cents that you need to do what you need to do to work your purpose, right? At the end of the day, it is imperative that we remove the negativity out of our lives. Sometimes that means not answering that telephone, not looking at social media, look, I know I'm about to hurt somebody's feelings. Sometimes you got to stay away from the center guards if you are not feeling your growth. Somebody's going to say, well, that's not nice. You're telling people, no, what I'm telling you is sometimes you have to take out the negative. Thank you, Taisha. I was getting ready to use that as an example because, as you know, I am a floral designer also. So one of the key things I enjoy about doing floral arrangements is this. I get to cut away the pieces of the flower that is not helping that flower look good. You have to remove it. Be intentional on your cutting process. Be intentional on your pruning your concept. Be able to develop something that's going to help you grow. At some point, we as parents, we have to cut away from the children in order for them to grow. If we continue, hello, all my parents, raise your hands. Because we're guilty. We are so guilty. See, this is the thing. Sometimes we have got ourselves so attached to trying to be the life support system for everyone else that we have drained our own self-esteem. We have drained our own process. We have drained ourselves from being who we really are. When you continue to go in that same process, there is no room for growth. If we are constantly and we continue to be holding on to some things, we continue to allow toxicities to grow, right? When you're holding on to negativity, you are the tool for it to grow. It's time to cut it at the root. Help me, y'all. Help me by telling somebody, look at your neighbor. Well, that's what they say at the church. That's what the pastors and those that are preaching say. Look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor. Can I be honest with you? The neighbor is looking you straight in the mirror. You need to be intentional with yourself and tell yourself it's time to cut it at the root. I will no longer be the place where it allows it to grow. If you leave something long enough that is growing, it will grow and it will take over. Let's go back to the flowers. When you are sitting here looking at these flowers and they are growing, and you see, and my mom used to irritate me, y'all. I love my mama, y'all. God rest her soul. I love that woman. But check this out. There were times when we were growing up as children, one of our chores, it wasn't a punishment, it was a chore. Mom would say, come on, y'all, help me get these weeds out these flowers. And I'm thinking to myself, little old lady, what you mean? Because see, if you didn't grow up in a old-fashioned home, you might not know what I'm talking about. But in our home, mama would give all of us a pair of scissors. See, some of y'all that have been working with me for some time are saying, where did that scissor concept came from? It came from my mama. You know how we say this, you got it from your mama? I did. I got into the point where my mom would say, come and get your scissors. And we would get our little scissors because we had special scissors. They weren't special, y'all. It wasn't the real gardening scissors that you get now. It was just a pair of scissors, right? But mom would say, get your scissors, come on. We would go outside on our knees and we're pulling these weeds out of the flower garden. Literally pulling leaves out of the flower garden, right? And we say, Mama, why we gotta do that? Daddy gonna mow the grass. Yes, your dad is gonna mow the grass, but I don't need him to cut down the flower. I need for us to take out the grass, take out the weeds. Have you took out the grass, the dead grass and the dead weeds that's causing you to stay sabotaged and suffocated in your present? It's time for you to remove those leaves. It's time. Look, the leaves are falling beautifully, right? It's fall. The leaves are falling beautifully, right? But guess what? You still have to remove them because now they're dead. Okay, excuse me. I apologize. I felt my hip right there. You got to understand that what is dead has to be removed. Okay. For those Christian people sitting out there that are behind the scenes looking, check this out. Lazarus was the perfect example of shaking off that which was dead. It took Lazarus going to sleep Okay, okay, okay. It took Lazarus going to sleep, and to some people around him, his sisters, it appeared that he was dead. Can I be honest with you? You are appearing dead to yourself because you have allowed all of this dead weight to follow on you. It's time to remove it, right? Do you need someone to call you to get you to out of that dead place? Well, look, I ain't Jesus, but I'm calling you. I'm telling you, it's time for you to shake off the dead weights that's holding you down, that is sabotaging who you are. And sometimes that saboteur is right in front of you. Look in the mirror. One of the other tools that's in the toolkit is a miniature mirror, right? So this is the thing. This is the thing that we got to be honest about. It's time for us to shake it off. Taisha, I'm with you. There's some dad. You see, this is the thing. Everybody says, well, you're the great coach. Yes. Do you know why I am the great coach? That I try to help other people because I have been in the dead. I have been in the dead situation. I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like. I know the emotions that we are wrapped up and tied up in because we're dying. We are dead to everything but ourselves. We are dead to the whole revelation that there is a life after the children are gone. We have a program that we're getting ready to start 40 plus. It's something out there that we got to learn how to cut the umbilical cords. Many years ago, God gave me that message to preach in the pulpit, and not many people understood it. But honey, baby, I understand it now. It's time to cut the umbilical cords. It's time to cut the attachments to negativity out of us. What are you waiting for? Because it feels good. It's time for you to have a fresh cut. See, everybody saw that and they thought, oh, you're talking about a haircut. Well, you know, it's time for me to get my hair done. Anybody want to, send me some cash apps for my birthday, I'll accept that because I want to get my hair done because I want to be cute. But guess what? Being cute on the outside and dying on the inside is not your intentions by God. He did not intend for us to die in this season. He intends for us to help other people understand the importance of being raised up. It's time for us to take another look at who we really are. I don't know about you. I can't help you understand this any further than what you are allowing yourself what you allow yourself to see. It's time for you. It's time for you. It's time for you. Let us have a fresh cut. Get a pair of scissors and cut. If you have not got your elevated not tolerated toolkit, call me. I'll make sure you get the package. Because in there is some good stuff, right? And not just because I produced it, just because God gave it to me to produce for myself. Let me tell you all something. Let me tell y'all all something. Not something. Let me tell you something. This is the time where you have to understand that the greatest lesson, the greatest gift that you can give to yourself, the greatest lesson that you can give to yourself is to remove yourself from things that don't help you grow. Mentally, you have to learn how to remove people, places, and things that is not helping you grow. If it's the hair, cut it off, get you some weave. I don't know. If it's your eyelashes, I don't know. Go out there and but stop worrying about the outer appearance. Is the inner appearance of you healing? Is the inner you at a place where it's ready to go? Is the inner you ready to release yourself from the negativity that's holding you bondage? Are you ready? Are you truly ready to remove the negativity out of your life? Are you ready? So you have to ask yourself, now is the season. Now is the time. When Lazarus was laying there somewhat in a comatose stage. Oh God, I heard that. Sometimes, hey Deborah, welcome. It's been a time. See, this is the thing. Have you thought about, are you in a comatose stage? Some of us are having the ventilator still attached to us only because it's helping us breathe. But are you breathing what you need to breathe? Are you really breathing life? The machine is what's attached to you, is what's breathing. It's time for you to come out that coma and get busy. It's time for you to cut away the negative. It's time for you to unleash it. This is time. It is time, y'all. We have been laying in a place of a comatose state because God is allowing us to regain our energy and strength. So many people ask me, why did you stop doing the lives? Why did you stop? Why did you stop? Can I be honest with you? Some of you that watched for those 3 years consecutively, can I tell you why? Because when I got COVID, I realized that I had been burned out. I realized that I was burning out the very thing that God intended to be a healing and blessing place. I was burning myself out, trying to what? Please the people. Got to give the people. Get the people what they want. I was trying to, y'all know me. Y'all didn't know me well enough. Y'all know if I start singing, you might as well get ready. So you got to understand. Can I take you to this place right here? You got to understand that in this season, you can't give everybody what they want. You got to reserve some things for yourself. It's time. It is time. It is time. Are you truly ready? When I got COVID 2 years ago, my life stopped for 45 days. For 45 days, I was flat on my back. I think that was the first time my kids really realized how sick I was. I'm just being real because I don't care. So what you're going to find about me is that I don't really give a hoot, don't pollute. That's what we used to teach the kids how to sing. But see, this is the thing. It is time for us to remove the negative. What is your true intentions for today? My intentions is to release all of these things that are not helping me grow. Release, but it has to happen sometimes in a process. You can't release your kid. As a parent, you're gonna always be a parent. It's how you do it. The Bible says train them up. He ain't tell us to keep them. Once they get to a certain age, drop that. You're gonna have to cut that umbilical cord. Once they get to a certain age, you have to drop the umbilical cord. Can I be honest with you? I can say this for myself. I waited too long in cutting that umbilical cord. But what it's doing now is showing me my growth potentials. See, when you cut away the negatives, when you cut away that things that is literally wrapping around your throat and strangling you, because this is the thing. When you look at plants and the weeds and the things grow around it, what it does, is this right here. What it does is when the weed is wrapped around the plant. See, y'all got to help me because I feel my preaching anointing coming. I feel it so strong right now. When I tell you that when the weeds start wrapping itself around the flowers, around the good plants, what happens is it strangles the life. It takes the life out of what is supposed to grow. See, you got to understand, you can't allow some things to continue to be attached to you because it is strangling your life. It's taking your life. It's taking what God intended to grow. When Lazarus got up, let me just throw this out there, Jeff. Let me just throw that out here. Did you ever think about what you can look at this on a different level when Lazarus got up? Go back and read the scripture. Somebody put the scripture up there, because I know I got some Bible scholars out there. Put the scripture up there so people can go back and read about Lazarus. Because when Lazarus got up, that joker got up, shook off the dead, and went for it. He had to cut it off. He had to remove it. He had to allow it to break free from him. Sometimes this is, see, I go deeper is my thought patterns, because as a mindset coach, that's one of my other hats. But this is the thing, as you start thinking about certain things, can I be honest with you that sometimes it's a process. You can't cut it all in a day. Sometimes you got to wait for your help to come. How am I shy? You got to wait for the very thing that is going to help you get to another level. You got to wait on it. See, I posted this the other day. After you have done everything that you know how to do, then wait for your next instructions. Wait for the next release. Wait on what you have to release. It's time to cut it at the root. Good morning, Jamila, my friend, my sister. See, this is the thing. We have allowed circumstances and situations to choke us out. People, places, things, rules that don't have value. You got to do this because I said so. Can I be honest with you? As often as you assemble yourself with the master, hello, I'm taking it there. As often as you assemble yourself in the right avenue, in the right area that is helping you grow. If it's not helping you grow, what good is it going to do you to assemble with it? Ask yourself, God, what do I need to do to release me from this chokehold? In the wrestling community, say, I feel my dad. In the wrestling community, my dad, thank you, Taisha. When I tell you, my dad was an avid wrestler watcher. He watched all the wrestling shows that came on. And one of the things that I think was Ric Flair and all of them, they made this. Check this out. Check. Mic check. Check this out. One of the things that they were, Ric Flair and what was the other guy's name? Dexter Rhodes. One of the moves that they were good at that helped them overtake their opponent was the chokehold. Okay. Thank you, Taisha. Y'all go back and read Luke 16:19-31. One of the things, hey, Shanika, thanks for joining us. One of the things that they used to take their opponent down was the chokehold. Why? Because if you can cut off my oxygen, if you can cut off my oxygen, if you can take off my oxygen, then you are taking off what is keeping me having my life. Why did they create the ventilator system? Because it will continue to give you air. It will continue to give you what is needed in the body that keeps you alive. Can I be honest? Can y'all give me about 5-6 more minutes? Can you understand? Can you feel, a sister, that if you don't cut off some things, it will continue to suffocate you. It will continue to keep you from growing. It will look, when you cut off, when the wrestlers would do that move, that chokehold, when they would do that, you know why? Because it cuts off the oxygen to the brain, and the brain begins to stop functioning. If the brain stops functioning, then everything that's attached to the brain stops functioning too. If you ain't got no air going in, okay, y'all, help me. If you don't have any air going into you, then your functionalities begins to stop, right? One thing that you can understand is this. Stop cutting off your oxygen, trying to save somebody, people, places, and things that ain't trying to save you. Stop giving your oxygen to negativity because it's not helping you grow. Stop giving your oxygen. Be intentional to cut it off. Be intentional. It is time for you to understand that being intentional isn't selfish. Being intentional means that you are preserving your livelihood. You are preserving your oxygen. You are preserving something that has to give you life. Stop it. Stop it. Stop giving into cutting off your oxygen. Can I be honest with you? If you don't stop it, you will die mentally, if not emotionally, if not physically. Do you not know that high blood pressure and diabetes and all of these diseases are sometimes attached to what we are letting our pressure deal with? Okay, let me just say it in an old-fashioned way. If you don't stop worrying about certain things, then you're gonna cause some other health issues to come. Take it from a kid that knows. See, I talk from a place of knowledge to you about the things that I have been through and have gone through, and sometimes continue to go through in my life, because it's important that you understand how you need to cut off some things at the past. It is time. I tell you this all the time, Deborah. I say it all the time. If it's not helping you grow, then let it go. When Lazarus finally got up, he shook off everything that was attached to him. Thank you, Taisha. I appreciate you, my sister, my friend. See, this is the thing. You got to understand, when Lazarus got up, he shook off everything that was preventing him from moving. Can I ask you, are you ready for a fresh cut? Are you ready for the fresh cut? Are you ready for the fresh cut? The fresh cut is this. It's time to let it go. That is you, me, and everybody. My other phrase is this: from the pulpit to the corner store. It's time to let go of what's not helping you grow. From the pulpit, because there are people that are dying on the pew. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to better tell you this. That when we start understanding the process of giving a fresh cut, being intentional to be free. The other night when I came on live to just kind of tell some people about something, that was the first time in a long time that I felt free to give everything that God has intended for me to give. Let me tell you, when you get to the place that you're suffocating yourself based on people please, and we talk about this in the book. We talk about people pleasing with family. We talk about people pleasing in the church. We talk about people pleasing on our jobs. But baby, we talk about people pleasing within ourselves, that we have allowed ourselves to do it. It's time to let it go. Taisha, girl, bye. You are not by yourself. From the rooted to the tooted, you have to we as people, coaches, if you desire to be a coach, the Elevate Not Tolerated Academy is getting ready to start certifying people to be real coaches, right? We're preparing you for the real journey. And one of those is knowing what to let go. Stop suffocating. Stop suffocating. We got Mike. We got people in the pews, in the pulpit. Child, look, you're driving up to the doctor's office and you're already dead because you refuse to let go of the stuff that's not helping you. I know. We got to eat right. I know. We got to exercise right. I know. But if you are not giving the right diet to the mind, if you're not giving the right exercise to the heart, you are still dying. I don't care how many jumping jacks you do. Look, I walk up and down my staircase every day, but that does not remove the negativity. What moves the negativity is me removing the thoughts. It's time to cut it off. Go to the root. You are not in the root process. Let me help you. As a master coach, that's what I want to do. I want to help you understand how important it is for you to cut loose. What was that song back in the day? So some of y'all too young for this, but there was a song that said, foot loose, foot loose, put on your Sunday shoes, pull it. It's time for you to get foot loose and fancy free, baby. It's time for you to get foot loose and fancy free. I'm going to be 61 in 7 days. 61 in 7 days, y'all. Can I have somebody say? You, Mike, see you're messing. Mike, you're messing with the whole series I'm getting ready to do. So you got to understand, it's time for you to get foot loose and free to enjoy this life that God has given us. I'm going to be 61 in 7 days. And guess what? It took me over 40 years to figure it out. I don't want you to take that time. I don't want you to waste that time. I already got it set for you. Mike, let me just tell you, there's a series that's coming and we're going to be talking about what's on your plate. Because see, this is the thing. We have read that scripture, but we haven't gone into depths and understanding the creativity of God himself, because he allowed us to understand it just a little bit. Your interpretation of what he has given is right there. What's on your plate? You have put too much things on your plate that you didn't need to eat. It wasn't intended for you to go to the extra mile. It was time for you to train them up and then give them their go cards. It was time for them to eat and be merry in their own place. This is the thing. It's time, y'all. I'm telling you, in this season, it's time for you to fresh cut. It's gonna have. It is a time. It is a time for us to do this. It's time for us to have a fresh cut. How do we do it? How? Mike, I ain't fooling with you, because you know every time you get me riled up. See, this is the thing. It's time for you to understand how important it is for you to get a fresh cut, a break, a mental, physical, emotional break. We need to have some more Lazarus and Lazarus moments where we get out of the comatose stage and move into our running stage. Lazarus, when he got up, he shook off everything. And I'm sure it was family, friends, foes, enemies, and a whole lot of list of other things. But one of those things that I feel like Lazarus shook off was that inner negative that he had had all his life. He finally got to the root while he was asleep to figure out that it was time for him to arise. But he needed to hear a voice that understood the in-depth need for him to get up. Some of us, because I'm included, some of us have been laying dormant long enough. We have allowed life to overtake us and drown us and suffocate us. But now it's time for us to get a fresh cut, be intentional, and get a fresh cut. I am so glad that we have had this opportunity to be together this morning. It has been my pleasure always to come and speak life to other people, because if I'm speaking life to you, guess what that means? That means that it's something that God intended for us to accomplish together today. Now, what can you do for me? I'm glad you asked. What can you do for me lately? What I want you to do is make sure that you go out there and you register. That you register for the master class. Tell somebody else about registering for the master class, because we're getting ready to go out there. We're getting ready to go out there all the way live. It's all the way live. We're getting ready to go out there and tell some people that it's time for to unleash your authentic self. The class is going to be held on October the 30th and November the 4th. It's a mere fee, for you to pay for you to be released in this season. Make sure you go out there and put your hashtags today, because for every hashtag, I'm going to make sure somebody says, what? Hashtag it, it's time to cut it. Hashtag it, it's time to cut it. When you think about it, it is past time for us to cut it. It is way past time for us to cut it. Please shake it off. Please cut it off. Please remove it. Take it to another people. Yeah, devil, there's a whole lot of people be drinking baby milk. You know what? And it's time for them to cut it too. Because guess what? I'm going to tell you, this is one of those cliche-ish things that people need to look at. Because sometimes you need that baby milk to refresh you to what you really need to be doing. Because some people don't even understand. It's time for us to get off the milk and let's have a real biscuit. Guys, please join us at the conference, the masterclass on October the 30th. If you have not purchased your ticket, please go out there and do so. We will introduce today, later, the VIP package. We want you to take full, full course and actions in developing some things for yourself, because it's time for you to cut it. It's time for you to get that fresh cut. Hey, Mike, when y'all at the barbershop today, or whenever y'all go, you get that fresh cut. Don't you be doing like this? Ooh, this feels so good. Ladies, when you get that fresh hairdo, when you buy that fresh wig, don't you feel good? Because you're like, ooh, I got a new hairdo. I got a new attitude. Hey, I just felt that. You got a new attitude? Maybe it's because you need to have a fresh cut. You're missing some things. Maybe it's time for your fresh cut. Be intentional today to get a fresh cut. All right, guys. I absolutely love each and every one of you. But look, join us on Sunday night. My guest will be the phenomenal Lisa Duff Washington, who will be coming back to the round table. She is a regular on our show, but she's coming back on Sunday. We're going to be talking about communications in her new program. I'm telling you, get ready, because we're getting ready to tell y'all about that life coaching certification program that Victoria Elevates, along with Elevated Not Tolerated, has developed and is ready to give you that certification for you to move to your next level. I'm looking for you in my freaking class. Hello, how you doing? I'm just gonna be real, because baby, watch Sylvia Coon said, baby, it's gonna be live, because it's time for you to be empowered, embraced, and educated to be elevated and not tolerated. We'll see you real soon.